afternoon, everybody. My name is Zenobia Harris, and I have the pleasure of serving as the CEO for the Kent Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to our March luncheon. So exciting to have this event every year. We really appreciate the mayor taking her time to come and give us an update specifically for businesses. It's really important. I was speaking with someone from Vine Maple Place today, and she was saying last year, this is her 1-year anniversary. Hey, it's her 1-year anniversary. And she loves coming to this particular event because we can see community come together. So just going to get through the housekeeping items. And so again, welcome on behalf of myself. But again, I'm just the face, so I always like to recognize my staff, Taylor, Madoka, and then we have our 2 interns, Kat and Paul in the back. They were helping with check-in, so just want to recognize that a lot of work goes into this to making sure that you all have what you need and that we have a presentation that's going to be beneficial to both you and your business. I'm going to bring up our chair for our Government Affairs Committee. When I talked about committees, there's multiple committees. One of those is Government Affairs, and so I want to reintroduce, but you guys probably already know, Ms. Carmen Goers, and she's going to lead the remainder of the program, so thank you.
Thank you. She mentioned that events was a fun committee. No. Government affairs. This is where we party hard. And we make an impact, and we make it right. Another plug for CivicSP is there's volunteer opportunities for the day of. And so if you're available, again, young people, 6th to 8th graders, they're great, great to be around. So it's my pleasure to help moderate today's speech from the State of the City from the mayor. But on your tables are index cards. If you have a question for the mayor, please write it legibly that we can pick up and read it in about 10 to 15 minutes. And then I will go through those to make sure that we get those answered if she hasn't answered them in her presentation. But Mayor Ralph, you know what, I'm trying to talk from personal experience here. Mayor Ralph has been my mayor, or was my mayor. I moved to Auburn a little while ago, but she was my mayor for many years, and she's always been fully accessible. She's been, I've seen her at Thunderbird games. I've seen her at the grocery store. I've seen her on her at the Kent Cornucopia. She seems to get everywhere around Kent, and that she has a heart for the city of Kent. She also has been a friend of the chamber for many years, and I would like to have you all applaud Mayor Ralph as she comes and gives the state of the city. Now, I will say we need to have a lot of pictures today because many have known her for many years. A dress is not normally her forte. Lovely boots. Ladies, you know what I mean? She has lovely boots. So I acknowledge that. I want to give you that little heads up.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It is so wonderful to be here. I'm really excited to be able to present the State of the City, the business edition today. Many of you that know me know that the speech part is never my favorite thing. It is all about the interaction and the questions. So we're going to do the formal speech and then have an opportunity. Carmen's going to come back and we'll have a conversation about how things are going in the city. Before I start, I want to make sure to give a special acknowledgement to our team here from the City of Kent, Michelle Wilmot, Bill Ellis, Capricia Arrington. They are the backbone of all the work that's done in economic and community development, and Pri is the one that keeps me moving forward all of the time. So just a huge shout out to our city team. All right. Like I said, it is absolutely a pleasure to be here with our business leaders and entrepreneurs today. You are the heartbeat of our city and our local economy. None of what we do could happen without you. I am deeply grateful for the work that each of you do every single day for our city to create jobs, drive innovation, and build community. Just like many of you, I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces in the room. You've been around Kent for a long time. You have watched our city grow and change over the years. We are a place of opportunity, hard work, and resilience. I think that word is particularly applicable to the city of Kent. We're resilient, right? The lumps come along, we take them and we figure them out. And I am very, very grateful for that. And we continue to build on that. We're making Kent a place where businesses want to come and where families want to put down roots. It is important that we are a community that our kids can grow up in and then want to come back and live. Way back since I was on the city council, people would say, why are you doing what you do? And I'm like, because I want Kent to be a place where my kids, they can go away for a while. I'm okay with that. I really wasn't, if any of you knew me. When my kids left for college, I was a mess. But they came back. And that is what I want for all of our families, is I want this to be a place that our kids choose to be. Today we're going to share where the city stands, the business edition. There's also a broader, bigger State of the City coming up on the 20th, but we're going to really focus on businesses today. Talk about the challenges, the progress that we've made, and why we're optimistic for the future. The most important thing that I want all of you to hear is a reaffirmation of our commitment, of my commitment to working together with you, the business community, to continue to make this the place of choice. So let's talk a little bit about that growth. So Kent continues to be one of the fastest growing mid-sized cities in the country. Our population has increased by 44% since 2010. Anybody know what our current population is? 140,400 people. Right. That's why I asked that question, because I think that people are like, oh, we're 80,000, 90,000. We're over 140,000 people. That is pretty incredible. That continues to make us the 6th largest city in the state of Washington, right on par with the city of Bellevue. So Bellevue's taller, we're a little bit wider, but same population. 34 square miles. It's a big city. I've got to figure out a better way to describe that, because I don't know that it's super flattering. But that's the reality of the city of Kent. And our business community continues to be strong. It is also growing. We had 415 new business licenses filed last year alone. 415 new businesses, right? That is absolutely applause-worthy. That means that people are choosing Kent, that our entrepreneurs and our leaders are choosing our city. We had some great new additions, and this is not exclusionary, this is just a list of a couple, so if I don't name your new business, please, let's talk afterwards, and I promise that's not on purpose. Smart Turf, Zone, Make It Rain Fitness, Top Pot Donuts. That one's kind of an exciting thing. Got to tour that factory, I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot of fun. We've also got new businesses coming, El Pollo Loco. So anybody from California? Okay, so that is the response that I always get when I say that. I have never been there. I'm really excited about it coming, but I'm seeing a lot of like, that is a really good addition to Kent. So, and Logan Brewing got a new brewery coming to Kent. So at the same time, we've got our longtime businesses like Smith Brothers, V Garden, Maywa Bakery. They were all prominently featured in regional publications, which is exciting because that highlights Kent's amazingness, right? That is a word I just made up. But it means that we're doing really important things that others are paying attention to. So again, another commitment to you. We are focused on supporting businesses of all sizes. You're gonna hear me talk about our industrial valley, but let's start with small business and what that looks like and how we're supporting small business in Kent. We know that our success is driven by our small businesses. Small businesses across the country are the largest employers. We can all name sort of that top 10, but that's not where the bulk of employees are. They're in small businesses. The city has continued contracts with grant makers, small business organizations, financial institutions, and community development groups to empower local entrepreneurs with confidential, free, and low-cost guidance. So whether you are starting or growing a business, seeking capital, or need advice on business planning or marketing, one-to-one support is available to help your business reach the next level of success. I just talked to a brand new business owner in downtown Kent that worked with Michelle Wilmot to get some of those pieces of guidance, and they were able to tell me that they're finally open and they're a brand new business like that, and they're my kids' age. So to me, that's really cool, right? We're talking about mid-20s and they're on their way. And that is going to be a legacy that they're going to be able to leave for our community. Our partnership with Business Impact Northwest provided a business accelerator program and targeted business services to hundreds of businesses last year, helping entrepreneurs navigate financing, operational planning, and strategic growth. Additionally, we continue to invest in tools and partnerships that ensure Kent remains the ideal place for small businesses to grow and succeed. Programs like the one here at Green River, the Small Business Center, a variety of one-on-one business counseling resources, technical assistance, and workforce training remain priorities, ensuring entrepreneurs have the resources they need to innovate and remain competitive in an evolving economy. We all know that the unfortunate side of business is the business side, right? You have an idea, a product, a service, and that's the focus, but there's also all of the other pieces that go into allowing you to provide those things, and that's that business development side. Let's not forget our incredible Kent Chamber of Commerce. They share that commitment to support businesses of all sizes, and I know Zenobia will be the first one to tell you there is a long list of services that the Chamber provides to all of you in this room. That's why you're members, that's why you're here. We know that today's small businesses and startups are tomorrow's large employers and honestly world changers, right? That idea that is sparked in somebody's garage while they're driving in their car, the I think I can do this, that feeling, we want to help grow that and make sure that people from Kent, businesses from Kent, are actually changing the world. So that also means the Industrial Valley, right? We've talked about our small businesses, but want to spend a little bit of time on what the Industrial Valley means and why it is an economic powerhouse. There's over 105 million square feet of industrial space and nearly 10,000 companies employing 232,000 workers, one of the most significant manufacturing and distribution centers in the entire country, right here in the Kent Valley. We continue to attract investment because of our strategic location. You think about where we're at, located between the ports. We have a skilled workforce. Talk a little bit about that and how we're going to ensure that that continues. The City of Kent is committed to ensuring that Kent remains a competitive place for business investment by improving our infrastructure, fostering workforce development, and ensuring our tax policies support economic growth. So those are all, I think, key things at top of mind for all businesses, no matter what size. I want to talk a little bit about the aerospace and manufacturing world. Zenobia and I actually had a conversation about this today. These are going to share the same numbers, and they are staggering about what the Kent Valley means to the economy of our county and of our state. So aerospace is the backbone of South King County's economy, and the Kent Valley is at the heart of this industry. Here's some numbers for you about this industry. $19 billion in GDP for King County, the aerospace and space manufacturing. 13.6 of that is generated in South King County alone. $13.6 billion. 60,000 aerospace jobs countywide, and 31,500 are right here in the Kent Valley. So over half of those jobs are right here. Kent Valley's total aerospace economic output exceeds $27 billion statewide, right here in our valley. An example of that is Stoke Space, the rocket company building the world's first 100% reusable medium lift rocket. I've learned so many rocket and space terms. Science was never my strength, but I can talk to you about rockets and propulsion systems and all those kinds of things. Stoke announced that it has raised $260 million in new Series C investments to drive continued growth and innovation. This investment more than doubles the company's total funding of $480 million. That's one company in the Kent Valley. With the resurgence of the space sector and over half of the state's space jobs located right here in the Kent Valley, we are in a global competition for aerospace and space leadership. To remain competitive, we must invest in workforce development, industry partnerships, and STEM education. That's the primary reason that we launched the Kent Valley Air and Space Manufacturing Employers Roundtable. I've got to come up with a little bit shorter name for that. So it's a really good thing with a really long name. We are strengthening connections between industry leaders, educators, and workforce partners. That partnership begins with our schools. Too many of our young people do not realize the incredible opportunities in aerospace and manufacturing. It's not at the top of the list. When you talk to a third grader, what do they say? They do not say, I want to be in manufacturing. But it is a really cool field with a lot of opportunities. So we're working to change that. We're working with all of our education partners, the Kent School District, Highline College, Renton Tech, and right here at Green River, to make sure that our kids understand that those opportunities exist and that we're building a pipeline for future aerospace and advanced manufacturing talent. A couple of the initiatives that we have going: expanding STEM education at all grade levels. So that is those littles all the way up through high school and college students, to understand that we can give them hands-on learning experience in science, technology, engineering, and math. Launching apprenticeship and career-connected learning programs in aerospace, construction, maritime, and advanced manufacturing. Again, it's about helping them recognize the opportunities that exist. We're working with educators to integrate Core Plus curriculum, ensuring that students can gain real-world experience right here in Kent and understand what those industry-relevant skills are. And the other side of that, as employers, you then have those employees that can jump in from day one. We know that training of employees is one of the biggest costs for employers, so making sure that we're matching those two things together. Supporting career and technical education to help students transition into high-wage careers right here in Kent. And that also means the minute that they graduate from high school, having apprenticeships before they graduate from high school, knowing that it's not always a 4-year degree, that it can be, and sometimes it's I've got a trade and a skill, and I'm gonna go back and get that 4-year degree when I'm 30 or 40. That was me, right? Jumped right into the world and then said, I can do this. But making sure that our students, they're taking care of their families, they're paying the bills, and they're becoming independent. I heard President Hardin from Renton Technical College last night talk about the incentive to get kids enrolled at Renton Tech is so that they can move out. And the mom in me thought, that is the saddest thing I've ever heard. The realist in me said, that's exactly what we're trying to do, right? Is raise our kids so that they can move out and then they can start on that career path. The Air and Space Roundtable is also helping to do things like introduce career exploration opportunities. So think about guest speakers coming into schools, bringing our students into a building where they think the word manufacturing means something, icky. It's exciting, and getting to see firsthand, expanding robotics and STEM opportunities, making sure that our students have access to that high-tech learning, and increasing industry apprenticeships by connecting students with hands-on training before they ever graduate from high school, right? If they know they can do it, they believe it, they are going to be successful. We know that the key to a thriving community is opportunity, right? If you don't see that you've got opportunity, why are you going to invest in a place? And so we want to make sure that our students understand that they have opportunity, and we're investing in education, workforce development, and industry collaboration. We are truly working to prepare the next generation for high-paying, sustainable careers right here in Kent. And we want to make sure that you all have the workforce that you need and our residents have the jobs they need. That is a beautiful partnership that builds community. As more and more businesses call Kent home, there is a continued demand for both housing and infrastructure, right? That's that whole circle of life. We've got to have a place to live, we got to have a way to get to work, and we've got to have a job to go to. So housing is a key issue for both our residents and our employers. It's what helps attract employees to come, right? Is there a great place to live? Do I have a great school district for my kids? All of those things are really important. As we look ahead, Kent's newly adopted comprehensive plan, I want to say thank you to our city council for unanimously adopting that comprehensive plan. It is the long-term roadmap for how we grow as a city and how we balance economic development, housing, and infrastructure needs. The plan ensures that we can continue building a sustainable and thriving community while meeting the growth targets for both housing and jobs that are set for us. So we are the recipient of those targets, and then it is our responsibility as a city to figure out how are we going to accommodate that growth in both the housing and job sectors. One of the ways we're doing this is we are planning for a broad range of housing options, ensuring that our workforce has access to quality, affordable homes close to where they live. Our plan does not only include additional rental units. So that's one thing I think we hear a lot in the news about. It's all about how many more multifamily developments can we build. I want to assure you that we are focused on multifamily because that's a way to gain that density, but we are also focused on traditional single-family townhomes, condos, ADUs. Talked to one of our long-term residents, and her daughter is building an ADU in their backyard. They have a big enough property. It is a great way to enter into the housing market without that really big price tag, right? And as a single person, it's a perfect size for her. So we want to make sure that we've got those kinds of opportunities available, and that there are types of housing to fit every lifestyle, every stage of life, whether you're just starting out, you're a family with kids, or you're on the other side when we've met that goal and our kids leave us, sadly, or happily, I don't know. You can see I've got some mixed emotion around that. But we want to make sure that there is a place for every budget and for every lifestyle and for every option here in Kent. The second piece of that is infrastructure investment. So Kent's economic success is directly tied to transportation infrastructure. You think about that industrial valley, it is all about moving products and making sure that the goods are getting from our valley into other places and they're being delivered to homes. So a couple of the projects that I want to highlight for you that we are investing in that again are that balance between a vital community and the industry and the economy. The Meeker Street improvements, we're now working on up by 64th out in front of Kent Elementary. That's a continuation of that Meet Me on Meeker standard, broader sidewalks, different lighting, making that a walkable neighborhood. So that project's underway, and I will tell you, nearly all grant funded, by the way. That is a really good thing, right, is bringing in those grants. We have some intersection improvements coming to Willis and 74th. So right there where you get off of 167, new right in, right out onto what we call the Naden property there, which will eventually be the home to some new economy driving businesses. We're widening 218th and 98th. So if you think about the corridor, it starts up at Military on the West Hill, grade separated all the way through the valley so you can miss those trains, and will eventually connect on up to Benson. Again, significantly funded by grants for that project that's been taking place over many years. Sticking with the grant theme, King County received $80 million from the federal government for Rapid Ride I-Line. So that is a rapid ride that's going to connect Auburn, Kent, and Renton across the East Hill with stops down into the valley at the transit center. So that will be coming in 2027, and that rapid ride is more frequent service, faster, so doesn't take you as long, and it's a really great commuter option. Sound transit, speaking of commuter, so we are finally, cold storage building has come down. The garage, the second garage for that commuter rail is underway. If you have not been down in the valley lately, I keep pointing, it's over here, behind me. That is huge progress. That second garage was part of what voters approved back in Sound Transit 2 quite some time ago, over a decade. That project is coming to fruition. We're excited about the improvement to that neighborhood. We also have light rail coming to the West Hill with 2 stops, one at Kent Des Moines Road and one at Star Lake. So that will be connecting then now all the way up to Linwood. That is scheduled to open for service in the spring of 2026, just in time for the World Cup coming to our region. So that is a project long time in the making, and we're really, really excited about it. So whether it be through Meet Me on Meeker, where we started, Rediscover Downtown as we enter into our strategic plan for what downtown development looks like, we want to ensure that our downtown is a core place for businesses and people, that it's walkable, that it's accessible, and that we're making sure that people can get where they need to go. All of these projects work to ensure that Kent remains business friendly and a connected city. All right, here's the tougher conversation. I told you we were going to talk about challenges, right? As if growth isn't enough, let's talk a little bit about public safety, because I know that that is top of mind for everybody in the room. See lots of shaking heads. Public safety continues to be the #1 focus of me, of our police chief, and of our city council. It is something that we are discussing all of the time on a regular basis. Over the past year, we've been able to increase things like proactive patrols, implemented targeted crime reduction strategies, and we have seen a decrease in nearly all of our crime categories. It's not enough, and I'm going to be honest and tell you that it's not acceptable yet. We're not there, but we're making progress. Because of a couple of reasons we're going to get into later, Kent does not have the resources to hire the number of police officers that we need for a city our size. Talked about being a city of 140,000. We have 170 budgeted positions in our police department. The good news story, we are still one of the only cities that is hired up to budget. Most of our surrounding cities are still struggling in finding police officers. We have that figured out. Kent has become a department of choice. The challenge side is we need probably 30 or 40 more officers to be able to provide the level of service that our community deserves and is demanding. A couple of things that we are doing in the middle while we are still working on figuring out what that funding looks like. So we've got a new unit called CREW, Crime Reduction Unit, and they are focused on hotspots. So we can all picture them in our head, that area where you drive through and you're like, why aren't the police doing something about that? That's what CREW is doing. They're focused on those hotspot areas. They're recovering stolen vehicles and really cracking down on those high impact crimes. And when I say high impact crimes, I mean the quality of life crimes, right? The things that make us not feel safe, the things that are impacting our community. Celebration, we have an amazing DUI court program that we are continue to be successful in getting grant funding for, and that is successful. So it works with those repeat offenders to get them stabilized, get them through treatment, hold them accountable, and make sure that they're safe and that they're keeping our community safe. And we have a targeted accountability program. So this is a partnership with our prosecutor's office, honestly, defense attorneys and our judges, to make sure that those folks that decided that their job is to continue to commit crime in Kent, that they know that there's a consequence to that. And that program has also been extremely successful. Part of keeping a community safe is making sure there's a good relationship between the community and the police department. That is something that Kent has always been focused on, and we will continue to be. Our police department held over 50 community events last year. They're here where we are, meeting our businesses and our residents, neighborhood school presentations and business safety presentations. I want to make sure that you all know you have access to our neighborhood response team and our community education unit. If there are issues going on at your place of business or before those issues start, reach out to our police department and our officers, our community education department. They'll come out and they'll talk to you about things like lighting. It's called SEPTED, and it's about making sure that the environment isn't a place where crime can easily be committed. So trimming up your bushes, lights, fencing, those kind of things. That's a resource that is provided to you, so please, please take advantage of that. I also would be remiss if I did not say this out loud. There is a video out there if you have additional questions, but our city is committed to protecting all of our residents, regardless of immigration status. We want everyone to know, if you are a victim of a crime, if you have a concern, please contact our police department. We do not check immigration status. That is not our job. It is not anything that the city has ever done, nor will we start. So I just think that that's an important message that all of you hear, because I am hearing from employers that there are employees that are afraid to come to work. We don't want that to be the case. So like I said, we do have fewer officers per capita than many other cities. No matter what, our department is committed to performing and providing the service that you again need and that you deserve. We will keep investing in public safety. The city council did add 3 positions this year. Again, not as much as we would love to be able to say, but we're making incremental change, and we are working on and focusing that because we want Kent to remain a safe and welcoming place to live and work. All right, the last challenge I'm going to talk about before we wrap up and get to questions. Many of you have heard me talk about this over time, and it's about streamlined sales tax. So streamlined sales tax is a change that the state made back in 2008. So with the advent of online shopping and all of those kinds of things, Washington State was the first state in the country, now one of 24 states, that has adopted this model that says sales tax, instead of going to the city where the product started, so think warehousing valley, why that would be very beneficial. Now that sales tax goes to the destination. So if someone buys something at the Amazon warehouse in Kent, we have the truck traffic, we have that space being taken up by not retail generating sales tax type businesses. We don't get that sales tax anymore. It goes to fill in the blank of whatever city that product is going to. That hit to the city of Kent today is $18 million a year. Remember that gap in police officers that I need? It's really close to that. $18 million a year that Kent was getting, that we based our economy on. People long before any of us in this room decided we are going to fill this need, right, for that industrial valley. And we're doing it really well. You heard those numbers. Billions and billions and billions of dollars going to the state economy on the backs of Kent and Kent residents. We have been and continue to be, and will continue to be, a primary contributor to our Washington state economy. And there are all kinds of things in place, market forces, regional government, all of those things that are going to keep our industrial valley industrial. Problem with that is it's not sustainable for us. Roughly 25% of our area is industrial. That means we don't have a Walmart, we don't have a Costco, and they're not coming because they're all around us. But we didn't need to focus on that. Even auto dealerships. I love Bow and Scarf, but there are one and only, right? You look at other cities and there's 10, and you think about, Anybody bought a new car lately? How much sales tax you pay? Right? It's a lot. We are working and have been working year over year over year with our Washington State Legislature to fix this problem. It's great for a lot of other cities, but Kent, their legislature's words, #1 loser in this proposition. And the promise back in 2008, we will mitigate you to make you whole until everything equalizes. The reality is cities like Kent will never equalize because of who we are and what we do. The limited mitigation that we have been getting comes to an end in 2026. So it's just over $2 million. Remember, we're losing 18 million. 18 million every year from 2008. It's a lot of money that we are behind. So we have worked on mitigation payments. We have gone to the state. Last year we proposed a bill that would allow us to pay our own way, leverage 0.3% sales tax for public safety funding. If you remember, I think we talked about it last year, never made it out of committee. This year we have another bill that is 0.3% sales tax that we would be leveraging on ourselves. Never a popular thing for an elected to come up and say, I want to raise your taxes, but boy, do I want the opportunity to raise your taxes. And my family is very willing to chip in on that 0.3% because it means so much to our community. That bill, 1532, has made it out of committee in the House and is sitting in the Rules Committee right now. So what that means is leadership of the House has to take an action to pull that onto the floor so that the entire House can vote on it, so that it can then go over to the Senate. I spent all day in Olympia yesterday, was down there for, it felt like 15 hours. I don't think it was quite that many, but it was a long time. I did not wear my boots, I wore tennis shoes because I was standing there talking to as many legislators as I could about why this is important. We are hopeful. I cannot lobby, but I can tell you, if you are so inclined, please reach out to the legislature, to the House in particular, and talk to them about this bill. It would truly be a game changer for the city of Kent. And it would be finally a long-term fix to streamline sales tax. It would help us fill that gap, or at least a majority of it. So there is our other struggle. It is our top priority. City Council has made this the top priority for the last 2 years in our legislative agenda. So I promise I will keep you posted. There are a couple other bills that are floating around that may do something similar, and we are supporting those as well. So we're keeping an eye on it, and we'll make sure to keep you informed. So in closing, Kent's future is bright. And I cannot say that without smiling because I truly, truly believe that. We have a thriving business community, a growing population, and a strong vision for sustainable development, but we can't do it alone. I ask you as the business leaders in our community to continue partnering with us, get involved in workforce development, provide mentorship, internship opportunities, advocate for policies that ensure Kent remains competitive. Your engagement is essential to our city's long-term success. Together, we will continue to build a Kent that works for businesses, employees, and families alike. I want to say thank you for your commitment to ensure that Kent remains competitive. I look forward to working alongside of each one of you over the next year. Kent is a city of unending potential. I believe that with every part of my being. We have so much potential. We have all the ingredients to continue to be a world-class location for businesses to start and grow and make a lasting impact. I am so proud to be a part of this community and to support all of you in the work that you do. My hope is that you join me in the thing that motivates me every single day, the thing I work toward every morning when I get up. And that is showing the world the potential that exists here and making sure that our businesses and residents have the tools to make that potential a reality. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mayor Kent. We've got questions coming here. I'm just dabbing around you. Now, generally, I'm a very fair and fun person, the mayor, but there's times when questions have to be asked. And that's why government affairs is where you want to be.
I have a little bit of practice with Carmen asking me tough questions.
I know, everyone keeps saying, one day I'm going to debate you. I'm like, yeah, it hasn't happened yet. So I have a couple of questions, but I want to tag onto the streamlined sales tax. We've all heard that our state is at a huge deficit, and they're looking to where they can make cuts. Is there any chance that that streamline mitigation will be cut in those conversations?
Yeah, so it is real because that mitigation is set to end in 2026. So we know it's not going to be renewed. We have been told by legislators year over year, and this is one of the most frustrating conversations. We gave you time to change your economy. Oh, so that 105 million square feet of warehousing that's spending, that's putting billions into this, you want us to change that? Well, maybe not, right? There's practices, there's policies that are put in place that have prevented us from doing that, and just market forces. And quite honestly, we want to be a good partner, but the warehouses aren't going to go away.
Okay, but tag me along with that. There was maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I have pandemic timing. We had a moratorium on any more warehouses, so the city council was going to look at how we want to structure for our future. Do you recall?
Yeah, so not necessarily a moratorium. So it was called Rally the Valley, and what we did, it was a plan to help us make some of those changes in the industrial valley, make it more people friendly, so adding in amenities, making sure that there's more windows, that there's more walkable areas, access to the outdoors, things like fewer dock high doors. So we were doing what we could, and it's working. We're seeing it happen. If you drive through the industrial valley now, you can see some of those new buildings. They look different. They're not just that tall concrete wall, and they are attracting different businesses. The reality is those really big sales tax generators, that's not who Kent is.
What I heard is buy more in Kent.
Yes, please.
That's what my takeaway was.
If you shop online in Kent and have it delivered to your Kent home, that sales tax still comes here. So even tell your friends, have their packages delivered to Kent.
We have a P.O. box right here, 98071. So you started off with an amazing number of new businesses in Kent, and the question was how is that offset by businesses that were closed? What were the primary reasons that you're aware of, and how can we, as a chamber and a community, help support or reduce those closing businesses?
Yeah. So I don't have exact details on number of businesses that have closed. We don't know if people have renewed or not renewed. So this is all based off of business license data. I think that it's the economy, right? And that continues to be the thing. Cost of business is going up. Inability to find employees, cost of land. We know, we just had a presentation from Bill Ellis at City Council. The space in Kent is getting more expensive. We're closer to being on par with South Seattle than we are with Tacoma. So I think that all of those things are factors. Advocating, being a part of the chamber, huge way for businesses to see success, because this
and government affairs.
Huh?
And government affairs committee.
And government affairs.
We need
yes.
we need every sector represented in government affairs, that we have eyes on every sector.
Yeah.
They gave me the mic. That's what happens. The question is, any city funding in question?
Any city. So we're not looking to see, coming from the state level, any sort of cuts at the city level. We're really just advocating for those additional resources. And no particular line that I am aware of that would have a direct impact on the city of Kent. Obviously, there's flow-through money that comes through the state, so depending on where they decide to close that really large gap they have, could potentially impact us, but I don't have anything top of mind.
And so you're talking about also our abandoned and old buildings. We had the Texaco has been torn down after many, many years. It's actually 7-Eleven, I think Central's the name of it. And so there's some places that haven't come back from the pandemic. What are we doing, or what are we seeing? Because those are places where crime can occur. Yeah.
So continuing to work. So the building that Carmen referenced, the address of it is 7-Eleven Central, not to be confused with an actual 7-Eleven.
On Central.
On Central, exactly. So the gas station on the corner over there, James, I smile because that has been one of my pet projects, pet peeves, whatever you want to say, for a very long time. It took a lot of work with that building owner, and quite honestly, the leveraging of our code enforcement. Sometimes when you say, would you like to be a guest in our jail, people take action.
And that's just west of us as well.
That's not where we start, right? That's not where we start, but if we have to end up there, we do. And that building was torn down, and now we're hoping to get some redevelopment. We have an internal working group, a code enforcement group that works on hotspots. So the same thing, there's a house over there across the street from the Kent Commons that I'm sure you've driven by. That is because of the amazing work of our code enforcement team and it being a targeted location. So working to encourage property owners to do the right thing, Strongly encourage them. I will use Zenovia's quote, voluntolding them to do it, and then really just taking that final step, which ends up being criminal, is the process that we go through.
Another question. So often in our legislature, and if you were in government affairs, you'll get the email, but the legislature currently has approximately, they're considering 21 new or increased taxes in the current budget. And so when you're asking for that 0.03 increase, how does what they do impact how you also increase your taxes here in the city?
Yeah, so when I first saw what was rolled out by the legislature, their words, not mine, a buffet of new taxes, it was terrifying.
And this is not a vegan buffet, this is not a carnivore, this is not a buffet you want to be at.
It is a full-out buffet.
It is yeah.
Yeah,
it's an onslaught.
I don't know what other word to use for it, right? And for multiple reasons. My family lives in Washington State. We live in Kent, right? We're all trying to make ends meet. So on that front, what does that mean for us? As a city that is looking for sales tax authority, it's also scary because my focus has to be on how do I take care of my city, and without revenue, can't do that. And so it is in competition. In my conversations with some of the legislators yesterday, that's what we talked about. There are multiple tax raises up for discussion. Why should we do something for Kent? We're gonna keep fighting, and again, the answer, and this is not something as any person who's gonna ask somebody for your vote, I want to raise taxes because it's that important to us. 3 pennies on a $10 purchase to get the vitality and the resources that we need to protect our community, that has to be my #1 priority.
So in government affairs, you will find that we will send out information on how to respond to your legislators and what bills we're specifically referring to, and a way to do that. So you can click, and it'll be there. And it's important that they know your opinions individually. The chamber does it, and then we are part of a coalition. So we try to get that overswell in that direction, so our legislators know how we feel here in South King County.
The loudest voices in the room are not always the majority. In fact, what I have found in most cases, not the majority. That's why it is so important that the majority reaches out to our legislators to give them that feedback.
And it does matter. Every click matters, and they track exactly where it comes from. Given the current political climate, how is the city planning to support nonprofit organizations? Will there be additional funding, grants to fund these critical services as the city grows?
So I can tell you there are no changes to the funding that we have as far as our nonprofit support and that kind of thing. We have a baseline of money that we use to support human services. That grows as the city population grows. So we're not looking at cuts. If there's cuts to the budget, it's really based on population. So our support is there. It is not changing. Who we support is not changing. How we support is not changing. We are committed to taking care of our community in the same way that we have been doing for many, many years.
Any more questions out there that have been written that we didn't get picked up? Okay, I've got 2 more here. These are things that are off the legislative priorities for the city. And maybe give us a quick update. Truck parking. So we are being a logistics hub, we have a lot of truck owners that live and reside within the city of Kent, and we see trucks, I'm sure, on many of our side streets. And that was a goal of your priorities. Can you speak to those updates?
Yeah, continuing to work to find resources for truck parking, again, warehousing area. So I'm gonna point over there to Bill Ellis as he's consistently working with property owners and also truck stop owners, those kinds of things, to try and find an answer to truck parking. We do have a lot of independent drivers in our city, and that means without a place to park your truck, it gets put in the neighborhood, which is not actually legal. I am very sympathetic to that. I am the daughter of a truck driver, an independent truck driver.
What do you mean that's not legal?
Parking a semi in the neighborhood.
Even if it's just the semi, not the truck, oh, really? Oh.
There's weight restrictions.
Oh, okay.
I'll backfill that with, we only have 2 parking officers in the entire city, so we can't be everywhere. But it's an important piece of that economy, right? Just as much as the warehouses are, the trucks are, and we've got to find a way for where they can park, where the drivers can get off the road safely as per the regulations, and where they can refuel, and eventually where they can recharge.
Oh, yeah, as we
Yeah.
expand. And then the last question, this goes back to part of our quality of life. We know that we're in a daycare desert. It's hard to find daycare. It's hard to get classified for that. I know the legislature has some bills trying to encourage that. Are you any thoughts for you in the city on how you can help us meet that need in the community?
Yeah, we are very supportive of both sides. So some of our ARPA funding actually went to help support daycare providers, making sure that there is a way. We need access, right? We don't want to have people to come out of the workforce because they don't have access to childcare. So making sure that there's quality childcare providers here in the city of Kent for the last many years has been a priority, and then working with the legislature on those things like regulation. Nobody wants childcare to not be safe and healthy, but it also shouldn't be so complicated that you can't get that business off the ground. So really working for common sense regulation at the state level when it comes to childcare.
Okay. Those are all my questions that I have. I'm scanning faces if anyone has inquiring minds. I see smiles, everyone seems to be happy and content. So we'd like to thank Mayor Ralph for her presentation. And just to reiterate, the full State of the City will be March 20th, 7 p.m.
Kent Meridian High School.
Kent Meridian High School. Yep. High School,
in the
Performing Arts Center.
Performing Arts Center.
There, thank you.
Yeah, the PAC is where it'll be at.
So
we've got some fun things in store, some performance by one of our local elementary schools, which is always a great thing. And then we will go through all of the things city related. And you just got a little bit of a preview on some of the business stuff. So hope to see you there.
Thank you so much. And I will return this to Zenobia.
So if you would like to go to the women's conference, we now have this huge wedding venue here. We have this huge wedding. I swear to God, my husband just walked in. The huge wedding venue, and it's going to be next Friday. So last year and the year before, this is our 4th year doing it. And what has happened is the need for that has grown, right? And so we are hosting, right now we're hosting 115 women. We want to host 115 women to this event. We have a wonderful keynote speaker who was a past executive at Costco. And we also have 2 panels, one focused on money and your money management, and the other one focused on creating boundaries in the workplace and at home. And so it's really going to be interactive. We have Andrew Crane that's going to be there taking professional headshots as well. We'll have a mimosa toast. I'm dry this for the next 6 months, so I won't be toasting with you all. But we'll have a mimosa toast. We'll have great food, a great time for networking, a great time for us to just kind of gather. This year, we also started, based on the feedback we see from our women's conference, we started our Women's Commission. And the Women's Commission is an opportunity for us to get together. We have curated speakers, events, opportunities. So for example, one of our commissions, one of our women that's part of the commission, there was an award for Puget Sound Business Journal. And what we did as a commission is we need to make sure that we are nominating those women, because sometimes those women get left behind, right? The ones that are just kind of doing the work with their head down, not really paying attention to what's going on because they're focused on their community. Our job is to ensure that we are making sure that their voice is heard, that the work that they're doing in the community is heard. So if you want more information on being part of the Women's Commission, that is also good. Are you joining the Women's Commission?
Hi, Zenobia. Hi, Dana. I feel like you could not have set this up more perfectly. Okay. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. There are some special people in this room. I'm looking at 2 of them right here. I'm looking at a couple more over there, that reached out to my office, to me, called me, and said, you know what? We have a pretty special woman we need to celebrate. It's you. So I have a proclamation. Okay? Okay?
Okay.
All secrets are safe with me. Okay? So I'm going to read the proclamation. Okay. It says, whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation in countless recorded and unrecorded ways. That putting your head down and just getting the work done, right? Whereas Zenobia Harris is a trailblazer, mentor, and champion for equity and empowerment. In 2019, she made history as the first Black woman to lead a local chamber of commerce in Washington state. As I've heard you say that once or twice. As CEO of the Kent Chamber, she launched a DEI committee, a youth leadership program in partnership with the U.S. Chamber, and a women's commission dedicated to supporting female leaders. Whereas a dedicated community leader, Zenobia served as Human Services Commissioner from 2016 to 2022 and chaired the commission in 2019. In 2023, she received the prestigious Larry Gossett Service Award from King County in recognition of her significant contributions to equity and community advancement. Whereas, beyond her professional achievements, she is a passionate mentor, leading by example and demonstrating perseverance and intellect. She is deeply committed to inspiring young people, encouraging them to see challenges as stepping stones to success. Zenobia is living proof that when doors don't open, you build your own, and then you hold it open for others to walk through. During Women's History Month, the City of Kent and Kent Chamber of Commerce honor the women who have strived to ensure all people have equal opportunity at pursuing the American dream, changing our nation and the world, and we affirm our commitment to supporting the next generation of female trailblazers and dreamers as they carry forward this distinguished legacy. Now, therefore, I, Dana Ralph, Mayor of Kent, do hereby proclaim March 6, 2025 as Zenobia Harris Day.
Y'all know I ain't gonna let y'all forget this now, so. The luncheon will always be on this Zenobia Harris Day. Listen, it's been a long week, right? And so I'm not gonna get too much into it, but I believe, thank you, Madoka. See, listen, the team is here for me, thank you. I'm not gonna get too much into it, but it really, based on my week, based on my interaction with my students, with my family, this is fitting. And so I say that because I think it's really important for us to continue to just power through. Whatever is going on inside, outside, around you, you have the power to just be who you are supposed to be. And everything that is for you is for you. And there is absolutely nothing that anybody can do to take that away from you. And so I appreciate you, Mayor Ralph. I appreciate probably all my annoying friends that called. Now I see why my staff won't let me answer the phone, and they've been sneaking around, and my husband said he got a doctor's appointment today, and he's here. Clearly my heads are in the cloud, but I do want to say thank you. Archie, can you come up? He hates this. You don't have to talk, though. Archie, y'all haven't seen him in a while. Yes, you guys haven't seen him in a while. Archie, my union man, 3 years from retiring, so I'll probably be leaving the chamber. You guys got about 3 years left with me because we're retiring soon. Thank you, honey.
Thanks, everyone.
Oh, you talked. Awesome. Thank you. Awesome. So I just want to say thank you. This job is a job that I really love to do, and it takes me and it takes my family being beside me to be able to support the businesses. So with that, I think I'm going to let my team do the raffle. Right? Awesome. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for the update, Mayor Ralph.